So in today's Scoutmaster Dave, we're going to talk a little bit about a Coleman lantern. This is a standard Coleman lantern, propane. These are good during most of the summer months and a little bit into the winter. You're better off with other lanterns during the cold times of the winter, but generally this can be used most of the year. Just going to give it a nice press right there, and that's going to pop the case open on this version. And I'm going to move the case off to the side. Let's take a little bit of a look at the lantern itself. So, what you're seeing inside of the lantern here are two mantles. These mantles would actually give you your light source. Okay, so if the mantles are all broken and chopped up or just missing, they need to be replaced. Now, mantles are very fragile things, so it's always good to keep an extra couple of mantles inside with your lantern. That way that you can change them. This is a lantern mantle right there. This was an old one where you take the mantle and you tie it onto the top part there. And you can kind of see, let's see, yeah, you can get a good look at the mantle and where you would tie it. Now this mantle's probably seen better days, but it will light up and be fine for this trip right here. So to attach this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my propane cylinder here. And very similar to our stoves, we have the button inside of one and the trigger inside of the other. So you marry the two together and you turn. Again, you don't want to force it. If you force it, it means that you're stripping the threads, and that's not going to be good for either your lantern or your propane canister. And that's it. This should be together like this. And hand tighten it. There's no need to force it to be tighter than it needs to be. It makes a good seal. This lantern has one of these bases that this can go right into like that. One of the other things that you can do is you can take this, you can turn this upside down, and this fits inside of there as well to get a little bit of a height. Now to light this, what you're going to do is you're going to use the little lighting holes on the sides in there, and you can kind of see it right over there. That's one of the lighting holes, and there's the other one on the other side. So the first thing I'm going to do is get out my matches. I'm going to light this up and turn on this, and I'm going to put it inside of here. And you hear the sound, and you hear the little flush sound where it's lit up. Now I can turn the mantle all the way up, and you can hear the sound that it makes, right? And you can even see some of the light inside there. Maybe if I put my hand there. Or you could lower it down. So with this particular lantern, it clicks into place. So there's about 10 different positions along the bottom there that it'll click into place. Now, this is one of those things that I've seen Scoutmasters sort of shy away from their scouts doing, because potentially they could get hurt with this. These lanterns heat up very quickly, even more so than the stoves. And because of that, they'll light these lanterns by themselves, because in general, you're only lighting 1 or 2 lanterns. But it's always good for the scouts to have an understanding of how these lanterns actually work. So if they do have to light it, even if you are the one that's primarily lighting it, that they'll be able to do it. So now with these lanterns, you can actually hang it from up here. There's different affordances that you can hang it from, like a chain in a tree, where you can see that it's all metal. It attaches to the tree, and then the lantern can hang from it. So that when you're done with the lantern for the evening, you're going to want to turn it off all the way. And notice that you shouldn't hear a sound if it's off. There shouldn't be any leaking gas. There should never be any leaking gas if you hooked it up correctly. This will still be hot. And the appearance is, well, it's just a lantern that's not hot, or certain areas aren't hot. The areas that get hot are really up here. So very much like with the stove demonstration, I can put my hand about here, but anything lower, it's going to get hot. What I've seen people burn themselves on the lanterns is when they go to, say, change a mantle after it's been on for a little while. Say, oh, look, one of them's burned out, so let me change the mantle. And I'll actually go and grab this little nub right in the center there. See the nub in the center there? So somebody will grab that, and unfortunately that becomes one of the hottest parts of this thing because it's so close to the heat source there. So I can put my hand about here now, and it's still about here. So it holds its heat for a long time. So at the end of the night, when you're looking to close up the lantern, you gotta give it enough time for it to cool down before you put it away. A lot of times you're putting this away in the morning, which is good because then it's nice and cold out. But before you move any lantern, you just wanna kind of put your hand over it and see if it's still hot. And right now it's still hot, and it's been, you know, a couple of minutes now. I'm gonna give this a moment to cool down, and then we're gonna close it back up and put everything back in its case. Okay, so it's been about 10 minutes, so we're going to take this now and we're going to close it up. And we're pretty much going to do this in the reverse order that we did it. Simply by doing this, you're going to hear a little pop. Okay. And then we're going to take this, put it inside of the grooves, like so. Lift this area up, take our case and put it around it with the edges going into this area over here, like so. And then you're going to hear a click, and that is it. You are ready to go. Thank you for watching this episode of Scoutmaster Dave. Take what you like, leave the rest. And please remember, feedback is a gift. Leave yours in the comments and tell your friends about Scoutmaster Dave.